Now, a big story coming in. Sources have told WION that China is deliberately delaying granting clearance to an Indian flight which will carry out evacuations in Wuhan. India, which has already evacuated nearly 600 of its citizens from Wuhan, has been ready to send another flight to rescue its remaining nationals from the coronavirus epicenter, while Beijing maintains that there is no delay. The truth is that a clearance was not even given on Friday, which was the day the flight was scheduled to leave for China. And for more, we have Siddhant Sibal joining us to give us more details. Siddhant, tell us, what is this resistance? Why is this happening? Why is China not giving us more clarity on this delay of the flight?
Well, no official reason has been given by China, but India had to send this flight last week. This was a C-17 Globemaster. This was to go to Wuhan. Remember, earlier this month, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had written a letter to the Chinese President Xi Jinping and offered relief, any kind of Indian support to China, which is facing this epidemic. Now, when everything was ready, India had readied everything, and in fact, in the return flight, they were supposed to bring the Indian citizens who are eager to come back to India. There are roughly 100 Indian citizens right now in Wuhan and other nationalities as well. No clearance was granted. The clearance was supposed to be given by Friday, because remember, Friday was the date when the flight was to leave, and WION was the first time to reported yesterday evening that no clearance has been given. And finally, it is now confirmed no clearance has been given. There is considerable delay and, of course, silence by the Chinese authorities, and government sources have been telling us that why the Chinese are creating this roadblock in evacuating our nationals from Wuhan. This is putting them in hardship, in mental agony, and there are flights right now going to Wuhan, coming from Wuhan, including from France. But the Chinese government is delaying clearance to the Indian flights. So, of course, questions are being raised. What is the Chinese intent of not giving any clearance to Indian flight that was supposed to go with relief? About 1 million masks are there in the relief material, and bring back Indian nationals and nationals of other countries as well. So it looks the Chinese are doing some kind of mischief.
Right. Another question that I have is, while we know our Indian nationals are suffering, and I can only imagine the mental agony, but doesn't China require Indian aid? Why are they being resistant to that, given the massive outbreak that is the coronavirus?
Despite India saying that India would like to help China, and the Indian Prime Minister also writing to the Chinese President, when the Chinese are bringing out with a list of countries who are supporting China, there is no mention of India. It seems that China is not happy with something. We know that earlier, a few weeks ago, there was a briefing by the Chinese envoy here in India, a rare briefing. It was after 10 years that any Chinese envoy in India is doing briefing. So they did a briefing specifically on the coronavirus issue. A question was asked, what do you think about the Indian aid? They did welcome that, but they also in the same paras raised the point that India had put certain travel restrictions. So China is not happy with those travel restrictions. Of course, there is no linking as of now, but it looks like the Chinese are getting some kind of deliberate delays, which of course is not only impacting the delay in the relief, but also impacting the Indian citizens who would like to come back.
Right, right. Siddhant, thank you so much for those insights. We'll keep coming back to you for more as this story develops. And now let's move on to our next big story.